Hi, it's one of the Grand Tactician the Civil War developers here. I'll show you Whiskey and Lemons DLC, which is upcoming this summer. Currently it's in beta phase, so we are still testing it and fixing the bugs. When starting a new campaign, you can already see here that there's a new Eastern Theater campaign available. This is a regiment scale campaign, and it starts on June 1st, 61, before the start of the major operations in the war. At the bottom you can see the option for career mode, and this is of course DLC content, which is also available here in the main game campaigns as well. These campaigns, even if played in career mode, will remain as a brigade level scenarios. But let's take the Eastern Theater and start a career as Union. The first thing to do when starting a career is to create your character. You can choose a portrait for the commander. You can have one of these default ones or use a custom one you can drop in the game files. Same goes with the battle flag for your unit. So this flag is shown on your unit at all times in battle, so you can see where your unit currently is. Here also custom flags are available. When naming the commander and giving the nickname, nickname may appear during the game. Depending on your actions, personality and so on, you could end up with a nickname such as Fighting Walrus in this case, or something similar. Then home state New York, date of birth, and the next thing to do is to fill up a questionnaire which will determine your attributes and personality in this campaign. So, for example, the first question, which of these best describes my background? As you can hear from my accent, I'm not an American, so let's choose this one. I was born outside America and basically I'm an immigrant. Did I participate in the Mexican War? I was advancing my political career at that point. And did I study at West Point? Let's say that I did apply and got in, but did not finish my studies, and so on. One can also roll the dice here, and this will answer the remaining questions in the questionnaire randomly, and then you will end up with a more or less random commander for the campaign. So let's try that. Okay, so with the random answers I end up with the following attributes. So basically leadership is quite good, the rest are quite poor, but that's not a problem because during the game I can affect these ratings so they could be higher at some point. So I'm a volunteer, not a professional soldier, and not a politically assigned commander. And here you can see the personality items. You can have up to 6 of these, and these will determine your personality during the career and have an effect on what you can do and what can happen to you during the campaign. These can also change during the campaign, so you're not stuck with these forever. So in this case I'm a religious fanatic, a cowardly officer, which is always a good thing of course, and unflinching. I'm good under pressure even if I'm cowardly, and my political views are liberal. Here on top are my starting prestige and money. So I have $100 in my pocket when the war starts, and quite high prestige of 3.5 thousand. Okay, with this commander, let's sign up and start the career campaign. First thing in the career campaign is to choose your starting unit. You will be given possibility to lead one of the units in this list, and with my 3.5 thousand prestige I can pick any of these. Here you can see the prestige cost of each unit, and this depends on the number of men in this unit, the experience, training, used weapons, and so on. And because I'm from New York, there are more New York regiments available here than from other states. So for example, the 39th New York Infantry Regiment with prestige cost 529. That looks suitable. It's placed in 1st Brigade, 5th Division, Army of Northeastern Virginia. So let's pick that one. Okay, so now I'm commander of a regiment here in 5th Division, and you can find your unit quite easily by looking at the symbols here. So the darker one is the unit that you belong to. You can also find it by pressing this move character button here. So my division is Dixon Miles Division. Next thing I will show on the campaign layer what you can do in the career and how it differs from the main campaign. Okay, the first thing you will notice is that we have no access to finances. This is something that the government is taking care of, so there's no need to move any sliders in there. When we go to the military side, you can see already here in the order of battle that this is my unit here. As a regiment commander, I can only manage the unit under my direct control, so not any of these other units. For example, I can change the uniform to something different like that. Looks nice. And then I could change the weapons, upgrade them if there were more weapons available at this point. Now there aren't any, and because I'm a regiment commander, I cannot access weapons production or purchases. This becomes available only when or if I become commanding general of the Union. In the order of battle, you can see this new symbol, apply for a command. So basically you can use your own prestige to take command of other units, and depending on the unit, the prestige cost will be higher or lower. Currently, because it's early war, with the rank of colonel, I could be taking even a division command. For example, in Army of Northeastern Virginia, most commanders are, or division commanders are brigadiers, but a couple of them are still colonels. After organization reform, this becomes more strict. And for example, applying command of a brigade costs a lot more in prestige. If being a political officer at the start of the game, you will usually have a lot more prestige to start with, and that gives you options, especially during the early war. So you could end up quite high if you so wish. Okay. Then other things I can do, if we take a look at policies, this is being currently ran by the government as well, but I could try to influence the policies that are being picked. For example, looking at government funding. In the bottom you can see that by spending 2.6 thousand prestige I could encourage the politicians to pass this policy or act, and it's quite expensive, especially if being a regiment commander. It will be a bit more cheaper when I go to higher ranks. Then with projects, it's the same thing, that these are being picked by the big boys, but I could try to influence it again using my own personal prestige. So, for example, here a new regiment scale campaign project, which is the 6-gun batteries. I could influence this, so it would be passed, and after that, after spending 2.7 thousand prestige, we would switch to bigger artillery batteries. Then also with prestige, I could influence the other commanders, for example my division commander. So now as a regiment commander I will move with the division on the campaign map. In this campaign the maneuver unit level is division, and it's the divisional commander who gives the orders to move. But if I wish to do so, I could, for example, give order to move here and request my commander to do this movement. This will cost prestige, but at this point let's not do that. A new thing in the DLC is commander relations. So for example, here in 5th Division I have a quite good relationship with Miles. This is due to matching attitudes or personalities, and this affects, for example, feuds in battles or certain incidents regarding grudge between different commanders. And also, if I'm in a higher position, for example, a brigadier running a brigade, if I have bad relations with my subordinates, it could be more costly in prestige to replace them. Okay, let's run a bit forward. Here's information about functionality when commanding a regiment. And on the top, during the career, there will be these snippets from my personal diary that also tell a bit about what's happening around me. So because I'm just a mere regiment commander, I will not be flooded with telegraphs that are basically describing what's happening way above me. So only stuff that directly affects my unit will be posted to me. And the rest are military rumors and so on that will be passed on and recorded in my personal diary. Here, when clicking on top of my portrait, I can access my career panel. And here I have the basic information about myself. So here are the attributes that I ended up with from the questionnaire, personality, and also my prestige and money situation. Prestige will be earned in battles, following orders, completing objectives, inflicting casualties, and also via certain actions. Money will be earned from my officer's wage, and also through certain actions it's possible to generate more income. Here is my promotion progress. So currently, starting the game, the progress is 0, and next rank of Brigadier General will be reached when this bar moves all the way to the right hand side. And of course my activities and fighting battles will affect this. There's also another way to gain promotions, which is using influence and prestige. So basically for 2,200 prestige I could influence my next promotion to Brigadier General, and after that I would have some more options in my career. A requirement for promotions is that I should have a fitting appointment. So now, as a regimental commander, I will remain a colonel even if the bar is full, and I should then apply for command of a brigade. And once I am in command of a brigade and my superior officer does not have same or lower rank than myself, then I would be promoted to Brigadier General. So basically, for example, in current situation where I'm in, where my brigade commander is a colonel and division commander is a colonel, I cannot become a Brigadier General within this division because I cannot outrank any of my superior officers. Then here on the right hand side we have my health and fitness, which is affected by for example provisions I'm consuming, being sick or wounded. And there's my weight. So in the game you could become overweight or very skinny. This also affects certain things. Then there's my uniform and items. And now, because I have $100, I can show how this would work. So for example, let's try to buy a officer's sword. So $50 for the basic model 1850 Army Staff and Field Officer's sword of French pattern. And having a sword will slightly increase some of my stats. So that was $50, and let's use the other $50, for example, to improve my hat. I like these type of hats, so let's put a simple black hat. That's nice. And do I have any money left? Seems to be that there's nothing, so I cannot change more of these items. I could also buy a horse. This will improve my movement speed in battles, but it will also, if I have a real good horse, it could improve other aspects as well. And here on the right hand side I will be compared to the historical officers of the Union. So currently I'm of course standing dead last because I haven't done anything yet. And there are 50 officers that I will be compared against, with Grant of course sitting on the top. And when I generate prestige, I would then start to climb this ladder. The next thing is my headquarters and staff. So as a regiment commander, I can have an adjutant, I can have a second in command, basically a lieutenant colonel, and a quartermaster. And throughout the campaign, I could also attract certain companions that will join my headquarters to hang out with me and provide me with different bonuses and perhaps even some incidents during the campaign. So let's pick a second in command. When clicked, you get a selection of available commanders of sufficient rank. So here, for example, lieutenant colonels. Let's see if there's a fellow New Yorker here somewhere. Okay, so MacGregor would be a good lieutenant colonel for my unit. Let's pick him. And here in the bottom, you can see the staff effects he provides. So having a second in command will lighten my administration duties, increasing my administration. And this depends on the staff skill, how much the bonus is. This staff skill is improving during the campaign when the staffers conduct their duties. So here we can see that, okay, from staff I have 6% increase of administration. Let's pick an adjutant. Adjutants will reduce order delays in battles. So let's have a good fun for that. For example, Minty. So this increases my initiative and also reduces battle order delays. And for supply stuff, a quartermaster is good to have. So let's have, for example, Mr. Shaw from Iowa. And supply efficiency is increased accordingly in my unit. And so I have used up some of my prestige. Then on to actions. Here in the bottom you have the list of possible actions as playing cards and 6 slots for these actions. These are basically different categories which are shown here on the cards with the colors. And being only a regiment commander and low-ranking officer, I can only have 1 action per category, and this will increase when I get promoted and put in higher command. And the system works so that you must use money or prestige. Currently, because I have only $25 left, all these actions that require money are grayed out, and prestige is shown here. And for example, because I am a cowardly officer currently, that's my personality, I could try to improve that using one of the action cards. So let's try that. It costs 500 prestige, so it's quite high cost. And now it's used in the personality slot, and like seen here, it's not yet active. It will take some 50 days, give or take, to finish this action, and during that time I cannot add more actions on the table. But once this is finished, then there's the option to use another of these other categories because personality is full. Of course, at this point, if I'm not happy with the choice I've made, I can still cancel it, but let's keep it like that. And hopefully we will get rid of the cowardice that I'm currently suffering from. And the last tab here is Biography, and everything I will be doing during the career will be written down in here. So here are my information as it's derived from the questionnaire. And after that, in 1861, I've been assigned command of my current unit, and here's the information about me appointing staff members in my staff. Okay, during the start of the war, most units have very low readiness because we are still mustering, we are recruiting. It's only June of 61, and once the campaign starts running, readiness will increase, and soon, hopefully, large-scale operations will begin. On the campaign map, you can see that the regiment level campaign map spans from South Carolina in the south all the way to Ohio, New Jersey, and bits of New York here in the north. And in 61, the starting units for Union are Army of Northeastern Virginia, which is mustering here around Washington DC. Currently has 5 divisions under it. Then we have Army of Occupation under McClellan here in Ohio. Basically, headquarters is already moving from Columbus towards Grafton. And in Grafton, Morris already has a division, and looks like there's a unit commanded by Porterfield here near Philippi. So probably there will be some action in western part of Virginia soon. Then we have Department of Virginia under Butler here in the peninsula, close to Fortress Monroe. Department of Pennsylvania is here, north of the Shenandoah Valley, which is here. For example, here is Newmarket, Strasburg, Winchester, and so on. Currently, Department of Pennsylvania has 2 divisions. Then we have Department of Washington under Mansfield, and one other department here under Banks. And what we know of the enemy, there's Army of the Peninsula, Department of Norfolk, Army of the Potomac, and Army of Shenandoah should be somewhere around here under Johnston. And then there seems to be Army of Northwest already moving also to the western part of Virginia. If we take a look at the support situation, we can see that already Virginia is divided in support. So the western part of Virginia has lower support for CSA than the rest of the state. And looking at the objectives, controlling West Virginia will require us capturing certain towns and cities. And if this is done successfully, then this part of the state would separate from the Virginia proper and join the Union. And on the campaign map, states of Kentucky, Tennessee, and Georgia are only partially present here, and they are basically unplayable areas in this campaign. On the top, we also have the Move to Character button, which always will locate yourself on the map. And there's the current orders. And currently, as a regiment commander, I will be following orders from my brigade commander. But on the campaign map, because it's divisions that are moving on the campaign map as maneuver units, I probably will not receive any orders as the regiment commander, but in battles I will be getting the battle orders. And if I at some point make it to division commander, then I will be getting orders, for example, take certain towns or cities or engaging certain enemy units. Okay, let's fast forward a bit. Okay, it's June 14th, and at this point I have attracted a new companion. And this particular guy is nothing positive for my unit. He's a committee investigator working for the government, so probably somebody high up does not trust me too much, and he will be basically overwatching my unit to see that I do things orderly. And now if we take a look in the career panel, we can see in the headquarters tab that here we have the committee investigator, and he might at some point intervene in what I'm doing. And now in mid-June we can see the first Union units moving across the Potomac and probably moving to engage the army of the Potomac here near Manassas. And at this point it seems to me that my glorious unit should be participating in this advance. So let's check 5th division. We have mediocre readiness. This means that we could start offensive operations, and we have not yet received any orders, but I'll try to convince Miles, my good old friend, to start moving and join these armies in case there will be a battle. So for example, let's move closer to Fairfax here. 332 prestige points. It's worth doing. And there's the order delay, some 40 minutes. Some news from the west. Missouri State Guard is defeated in Boonville. There we go. Our division is also moving across the Potomac to engage the Confederacy units here. Like it's going to be an engagement here. Yes. And because I ordered our unit forward, our division is in range of the engagement with some 13 hours to go, engaging Army of the Potomac. And because my unit is involved here, I can then manually play the battle and command my regiment in this battle. And all the other battles that my unit does not take part in, those are automatically then auto-resolved. But let's check out battles in the next video.